Bam! Welcome to the live stream. Going live and talking jive. Yeah, we've been making some people grumpy. You gotta know when you're up in here, you gotta bring your shit. They won't let you do nothing around here unless you can show that you're packing. Uh-huh. And so, but you can see we don't use it much. We keep it in a little thingy. But we got it. Only when we come here. Situation room, and they got plenty of stuff over lined up on the wall. So welcome to the live stream, Pro Se Lawsuit Center, Pro Se Lawsuit School, Pro Se kick some butt today. So we now we getting it done. So we coming up in her to give you guys some updates on some of the new projects. I haven't had a chance to make the new project list over there on YouTube, but I think Chimera has a new project list on Rumble where we're going to add to. So over on Rumble, you guys need to get over on Rumble and start following us over there, because that's where the power is. We have free speech over there. Okay, they don't have their attorneys doing the check down, trying to block me and do all this stuff. Okay, I'm gonna take my hat off because we're about to get worked up in here. Yeah, but in a good way. So I don't want to even know where to start. We just start with Henry. That's what we know. So Henry called me this afternoon, and he was at the courthouse filing his stuff, and I didn't know what time he was going to be down there. Or we would have been like last time, we'd have been wired up and ready to go. But anyway, they gave him a hard time. My British friends are texting me, so they got something going on that I need to talk to. I need to help them with, and they're ranked pretty high on the list because they've been helping me. Oh Lord, they really helped me with some of the merchandising, the stuff that I needed to be doing, and getting my videos out there. So so they rank, but once you say you're gonna be on doing it, I get the rest around, get ready. So here we are, jamming. We're on Rumble, and we're on Twix, on Twitter also. So that's where the coaching group is. But right now things are rolling out pretty well. We don't have a whole bunch of problems with all that. Okay, so with Henry and the eviction situation, now just to kind of give you Henry. His wife passed away. She was the one that was running the front lead on this, and then he had a stroke, and then he got this thing in the mail. Sheriff, the time was up, and the sheriff was coming to his house to throw him out any day. So we was putting together a program for Henry, and we got on the sheriff website and figured out a way to. There was a portal on the sheriff website, and I'm sure it's probably on most of them. In some fashion or another, or you can like email them into their cancel the eviction team straight to them. And so we did that, and we did some other stuff anyway, and we got stuff out. And so Henry's still in his house. I think this is maybe the third week or something. I don't know. I can't keep track of the days, so I can only tell when the trash is getting picked up. Okay, so if I'm struggling to remember what day it is, it's probably Tuesday, because on Wednesday and Thursday trash. Okay, sorry. Okay, so Henry called me this morning or this afternoon. It was morning, and they were giving him a hard time, and about. Well, he was trying to file a demand to dismiss the eviction situation, and he already clouded the title, and then he was filing a counterclaim in the eviction situation, and he was trying to file a temporary restraining order and an injunction, and so they were giving him a hard time, and he had his phone on, so I was communicating with him in earpiece, and then at some point, Henry, you should let me know if I'm on speakerphone where they can hear me, okay? Because this thing started out you and me talking in your ear, and then yeah. So then again, so some lady stepped up and was trying to convince both Henry and myself that he had to pay $147 to file a counterclaim. Like, no, the action's already been paid for. You don't pay when you file a counterclaim. You just file a counterclaim in the case that's already been paid for. Oh, no, wait a minute. So then some dude came over and tried to take over, and he said, well, we're there, I don't wait. Are you the judge? No, we're the clerk. Oh, okay. So if you're the clerk, then you don't have judicial authority to make a determination on pleading, right? Well, we're the clerk. No, I understand that. So you don't have you don't have legal authority to make a determination on pleading if you're the clerk. So are you an administrative clerk or a judicial clerk? I'm just trying to get this clear so I understand. Well, I can't talk to you, whatever. And the dude walked off. Then another lady walked up and she started trying to be all, and then from the time that dude left to this lady, well, I don't know, maybe I was on speakerphone another time. I didn't know. I thought I was talking in his ear. But I mean, it don't matter because what I got to say, but it'd be nice to know when I'm really going to piss him off, because I may not want to really piss him off. Yeah. I'm just saying. Anyway, so that guy left. Another person walked up, another lady, and started talking in a little more higher tone of voice, like she was the supervisor, or I didn't know, like she was going to do something. And so I just asked her. I said, these rules that you're talking about they're not from the federal civil rules procedure or the Constitution. They're local rules, and we're not obligated to follow those. Those are for you guys. Oh, no, they didn't want to hear that. So I thought maybe I was going to have to fire this puppy up, or have somebody fire this puppy up so we could fly down to Georgia or wherever. I don't know where the hell Henry's in Illinois. Or we can drop something off in Georgia on the way over there, because we got Randall over in Georgia. But anyway, so okay, so one, I told Henry after they, you got to do the check down. Okay, he's filing 3 documents. The number one thing, the first thing that I do in the check down, number one, is I'm not leaving with anything. When they come back at the end of the whatever and say we're not, and if it turns out that they're not going to file that, then I'm either going to leave it there, or I'm going to make the alterations, the fraudulations, the changes that they want me to make to get it filed. Now, if I can do that, then I'll do that, and take a picture of all initial and stand and date it or whatever, and then have them file it, because I'm going to get a file stamp copy of it. So then I'll have what I need to show that they're forcing me and violating my due process by making me follow their freaking policies and shit they come up with that don't help me. Okay, but back to the check down. The check down is You know, and I got this check down thing on working with kids. I spent most of my life working. Hey, Robert, I'm doing live stream right now, man. You want to be on the stream? You want to talk in private? We're talking private. Took too long. I call you. Yeah, I'll call you back in a little while, bro. All right, go check it out. I'll call you back after a while. Business is calling. Yeah, that was Robert. Robert had a situation. He had a situation where the prosecutor, or whatever, they jammed him up. Now, I had to have him. He had to cut the email short because it was really long. And cut the email short, and just so he got jammed up. They ate it and let him go, and now the ATF's in his face over some stupid crap. And I had the same thing happen, and I think it was under 922G. I'm a freak. I have that stuff in my head. 922G. That's usually the fake gun statute that the ATF use. I'm sure they have more. But that's the favorite one. It's the fakest one. And I actually started putting together a package for that I was going to serve on the ATF myself, or jacking with me. But I didn't have time to do. I needed to, I was going through the peanut butter and jelly really fast, so I needed to. But it's not going to take me but a second to finish that up and add it to the prosecutor package. See, that's the beauty of what we're doing here. The real-time feedback from people in the program is what helped me put this. What do we need? And that's what we're getting right now. We got some updates, some serious updates to the property tax package, and it's called the commercial property tax package. Now, bam, bam. Okay, but let's just stay focused over here. For a second. Yeah, so Robert, call me back later, and we'll figure something out for him. So right now, and so I haven't heard back. I'll probably call Henry and see how things went. So we're talking about the check down. When you get there to file your stuff, and you got to file more than one thing or whatever. If you just got to file one thing, then it's a situation, okay? Because I don't like to leave. The first time I had to leave stuff, it was a very long time ago, and my stuff was jacked up. So it was a long time ago. Don't be judging me. Yeah. But you know what? I already still had the attitude that I wasn't taking it back. So I couldn't file it that way because it would have jacked me up and I wouldn't have been able to continue the case. So I had to go to the bathroom. I took the shit in the bathroom and I spread it under the stalls and left it on the thing, so people can read it while they're sitting in the bathroom. Oh, I forgot that my number was all the shit, and they already know who the hell I am anyway because they don't like me, and so they called me to let me know that they didn't really appreciate me leaving my stuff in the bathroom. Okay, so it's all right to play old when you're trying to get out of some shit. Oh, damn, I forgot and left it in all the stalls on the weekend. I had a bunch of copies, okay? Now, I'm not telling you guys to do that. I'm just, okay. Okay, but here's the thing. When you're going to file something in court, okay, when you're taking the file, the most important document that you have is what you need to make sure the goal for going to court to file that shit or whatever is accomplished. Okay, and then, you know, if you can get the goal accomplished with the first document or the first two documents, I really wouldn't. I mean, it don't make sense to beat yourself on the head and have the third document that you can take back later or file some other time interfere with the first two that are the reason why your ass went down there in the first place. See what I'm saying? So you want to do the check down. Okay. Now, I know, just work with me here. Some of y'all negative people already, and then checked out or out checked. Y'all ain't checking down. Y'all ain't checking. You're checking sideways, I guess. Okay. Check down works. Excuse me. The check down applicable. Okay. If it's not the main reason why you're there. If you can't check down because the main reason why you're there, they're not letting you file to stop whatever it is you're trying to stop, then you got a problem. And you're going to figure out how you want to handle it. Now, one way to handle it is just write people's name in who are in your way. I add their ass right here as a plaintiff to their own stuff, initial it and date it right in front of them, and then I would let them know that you're going to need to have your supervisor come down. I just added your happy butt right here to the thing as a plaintiff to all of this crap in the first place. And since you have a higher authority and there's hierarchy crap going on in the Rigo situation than a notary, then you saw me write it or whatever. So good. Or I can pay you $5 if you want the $5. Just offer to pay the $5. Now, okay, so if the check down ain't gonna work because you're not gonna accomplish the goal while your ass is there, then it's up to you. But remember this, and I had a talk with a young man earlier. Remember this: people get their heads wrapped up in a bunch of nonsense. Okay, getting worked up because they do my stuff. They can do whatever the hell they want to. They're the ones that taught your ass that you have rights. They taught you that you have rights. And when you get to federal court, they make sure they give you your public defender to make sure that your rights are protected. You got rights. You know what? You don't have no damn rights. You don't. You don't have any rights unless you're willing to stand the hell up and do whatever it takes, to make them respect you. No rights. People call me, oh, I can't blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear that shit. Your ass don't have no rights. Okay, so why would they do that? Because they know if you're agitated, pissed off, running around, grumpy as hell because you have rights, they know your ass ain't going to be doing shit to crush the reason why they're able to screw with you in the first damn place. Why? Now what? You can spend all your life on the damn what, and when the arguing's done, they kick your butt with their buddy judge who's sitting back there waiting to be the suck up. There you go. Oh, you can work all that together. You have no rights. I get tired of hearing that from people. You have no rights. One person told me, Coach Neighbors, I want my day in court. Oh, Lord. That is the reason I've known you for almost 2 years and you're still dealing with their BS because you want your day in court. You don't understand. We ain't trying to be in court. In court is they're in their administrative BS over there where they make the rules for your ass to follow, but they ain't following them. No, there's no day in court. Okay, so in your day in court, the judge is going to rule in your favor? That's what I asked him, and then he got kind of grumpy. But come on now. You're killing me right now. If you want your day in court, you're not trying to end the court process. We stop the court process. And you do that with the first document that you file in the case. They can't respond to federal case law or federal acts with statutes and codes. Bam. They can't respond to any of the shit that they file and start against you if you add them to their own shit using as plaintiffs. Add them to the counterclaim for $200 million, $500 million. File write your counterclaim when they're the plaintiffs. You can do that. The attorney didn't tell you that shit. Hell no. The attorney did not tell you that. We add the state from the hood. Get out from the hood. Okay. You want to take out the money? You want to take out who's getting paid to make the decisions? Which would be the judge dealing you. And you want to take out the person or whatever, okay, is kind of the flunky to the RICO stuff over there. And I'm talking take out illegally or maybe in this. Okay, sorry. Okay, so let's the check down. You know, if you can get what you need to have, and in Henry's case, he had to demand to dismiss the eviction crap because they were like 3 weeks behind and they jammed up. The property is already it's toxic. So he and then he had the temporary restraining order and injunction to block any further action against his property. Those were the two. Okay, the one that they was having trouble with was the counterclaim for the eviction process that we have in federal shit, so they can't respond to it anyway. They want to charge him to file a counterclaim. Well, we can deal with that later. That's not, okay, right now we need to get on the record what we need to stop the process and force them to have to answer. And then once we get file stamp copies of that shit, then we'll be taking those over to the sheriff's department, and then he'll take a picture and send it over to me, and then I'll email it over to the eviction. I've been communicating directly with the eviction team, and they're like, Mr. Neighbors, we don't accept the documents here. We just, okay, sorry, my fault. I know y'all ass don't accept them there, but y'all need to see them. Y'all need to understand because y'all asses are on the line if you don't do the right shit. So we're sending shit over to the sheriff department straight because I know how they roll over there. Just throw that shit underneath the counter and then ain't nobody taking the blame for it. Oh, we did this, I did that, they did this. And now we're going to do shit a little different way over here. Factitious expert, I don't know what you filed, but and the counterclaim stuff is not the only thing that we do. That's just one step in a process that we have. But you don't know about that because you just got here and thought you shoot your mouth off, so that's fine. And your default judgment on the foreclosure over 20 code violations and custody. So code violations are not valid laws. Statutes and codes are not valid laws. Don't have enacting clauses, titles, or bodies. Foreclosure statute is not a valid law. It's not. The process that they have you in is an administrative court. it's not a valid court. They don't have jurisdiction to do any of that stuff. So we do things differently. We add the players to their own shit as plaintiff, and until you do it, you gotta. Okay, but you gotta understand, you can't compare my stuff to what the hell you did. Okay, because I don't think you have the same expertise that I have, or from the real time feedback from all the people that have been supporting what we're doing around here, which you probably don't understand what that is. Well, you know, that's a whole different situation. Number one, when the police show up to remove you off the property, to me, it don't make any sense to allow them to force you. I don't know how that helped anybody. Okay, but the other thing is, if you bring these charges against them, but you use an attorney that's also paid by them and kissing their ass, then they're probably going to do what they're doing to you, drag the shit out and throw your shit out later, or they're going to get a lesser plea for you. Plea. That's about the same thing. Then they're gonna get agree to a lesser amount because the attorney that you hired to help you with this, because you're not working with me on it. So I'm not even sure why we're talking about it like this, like I'm helping you with it and it's going down the toilet. So I don't even know who you are. So you're talking about the counterclaim stuff. That's just in our program. The main thing that we do is we file in federal court against those fools. They can't respond to anything from the state court level. They can't respond. They cannot respond to federal laws and federal acts with statutes and codes. So that's a check down problem for them. Even when we file the real lawsuit over in federal court and serve their asses, then they still can't. They still can't respond because they don't have a federal bar card. I have one. All the people in my team have one. They got it off my website. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't realize you was asking for an explanation. I thought you was telling me that we're wasting our time or whatever. So I know there's you can file a counterclaim and anything that's been paid already. It's the I don't. They're trying to tell us that you have to pay. No, not everybody does that. The people that do that are dirty as hell, and it's just one of their administrative rules that they put together to block people from getting their stuff filed. That's why they do that. Now, the reason we do it is because bar members, they can't litigate a case they're a party to. Bam! They can't represent themselves. Bam! And they can't represent other members from the same corporation. So it's like check down 22, jam their ass up in the corner. Now, if you wanted to add the bar association for your state to it also, then that's a serious check down. I didn't know how. See, this is the way we think when we're not over here trying to win and get the judge to rule. Judge ain't gonna rule nothing for you. And yeah, I'm not here to talk about all that stuff. We're here to talk about what we're talking about today. And you're not in my program, so you can't be on me responsible for what the hell is going on over there. You get in my program and we can see what. Yeah, that's just not the only thing. That's not the only thing. Yep. Simple cuz. Well, it's the education. The education is, and people have the courage to use it. If they didn't, I wouldn't be here. The stuff that we're doing. Now, years ago, I had a couple of Facebook groups, foreclosure rescue and whatever, and in that group, people will we communicated about what's going on when I first started doing this and how they're trying to get out of stuff, which allowed us to build what we have here now, our non-conventional program that has taught us how to just cut to the chase. We just cut to the chase, and you add the state as a plaintiff. You add as a plaintiff to their own stuff, and you file, and then you hop your ass over in federal court. If you don't stop the state court process, then they're going to be on the phone to those fools over there, telling them that they still got jurisdiction. They're going to move your ass up on the list and try to see if they can keep you confused and angry because your ass has rights until they can throw your shit out in the yard. So that's now the way we stop that is the way we used to stop it was, we would file something in the municipal court, which is a faker court, and people will file their shit in there and go sit down, and the faker court don't have to answer or nothing, do anything, do whatever the hell they want because they get the municipal court gets your judicial authority from the city ordinance. Look that shit up in the court clerk's manual for your city. Look that shit up. I looked that shit up. I could not believe it. How can a corporation give itself judicial authority? And not only that, they do like you did Randall. Stop you on a citation, misdemeanor piece of crap, and then they pull Randall over because it said in the chart in a transfer document that he was it was a connection. He was in between the drug trafficking task force investigation. And they didn't pull him over because he was driving bad. And they don't even have enough sense to write that shit down in a thing to cover up their administrative bullshit. They didn't. So yeah, we working on Rando. No, they don't. They don't. And if they did, then you would be getting getting hosed. So no, they don't like it at all. And you know what? I got a new package, fraudulent conveyance lawsuit package now. It has the fraudulent conveyance, the notice of fraudulent conveyance, and the notice of less pendants. And I think it's one I didn't know. That package you can use to cloud your own title. That's what we use for. Cloud your own title. Move your ass up to the number one lien holder spot. That's the way I see it. Because if you're claiming fraudulent conveyance that they stole your property, and I say stole because your ass don't have the deed or control over anything, but they stole your property with a shovel of paper. Oh, that's a whole lot. That's a whole lot easier to like articulate than all this other fake banking crap and shit that people with rights believed. Yeah, at the end, to get your deed out of their office. Okay, get your deed out of their office, because if your deed was not in their office, they would not be able to verify. And YouTube, this is my opinion. Okay, if your deed was not in the office, they would not be able to verify there was a lien against your property. Oh, wait. So does that mean that the registration of your deed was and the mortgage lien was the first illegal lien that was filed in insurance? Yes, that's what it means. That's what it means. Let me explain it to you. I'll keep it simple, because I'm not that smart. After you left the table, signed and left the table, they turned that document into a security. That's like a large check on their RICO side of thinking of things. And then usually a bank president or vice president, stamps it, paid to it without recourse, this little square thing on there, and then they signed it. Or maybe Linda Green signed it. There was a robo-signer with a bunch of kids in the room, whatever. Okay, and then they process it through the Federal Reserve for electronic credits. Now, Modern Money Mechanics is a publication put out by these dudes that know way more about the banking shit than I do, said that they're granted 9 times the amount that went into a demand deposit account. Like, what the hell? How could they be running out of money? Okay, so what that means is that alleged loan was generated with your signature. Okay, so the state property transfer statutes that they're supposed to follow, because the statutes and codes are for them to follow to make it fair for us, so we're not violating our due process. Okay, so the transfer statute mandates that your deed is supposed to be delivered to your ass after the thing, but that's not what they do. And after helping my friend in Sedona, I had to look that word up because I knew she was going to ask me, and she did. They do what they call a constructive delivery, and they register that shit in their office. Okay, but so here's the thing. If there were several people who own property, all of the owners would have to be present. All of the owners would have to be present to sign that, right? Mm-hmm. I have people on my shoulders talk to me sometimes. Okay, so the fact that the alleged lender accepted your signature on the deed proves that you own that shit already, and I smell stink. They didn't sign it. They didn't sign any place. A lot of you still have that shit on your freaking mortgage, on your deed, and on their And the lien doesn't encompass ownership. Not for the bank. There's a bank. No, there's. Okay. So once the deed is registered, so that's called real estate deed fraud. And by the way, there's a lawsuit for that in the commercial property tax package that's been beefed up and about to go up, so in price. So if y'all need that, y'all better grab it now, because at the end of this month, it's going up to the premium price because it's going to have all of the commercial property stuff in it. Okay, so real estate deed fraud. That's when they don't follow the statute that says your shit's supposed to be delivered to you and then registered over here. And then once it's registered, they reclassify your property. They reclassify your property from private property to one of their commercial designations. There used to be 3, but the city of Lawrence, Kansas told me they had 13. 13. I was like, what the hell? Oh, hell no. I didn't go look that shit up. I ain't going down that hole. I know the first 3 are shit, so I the rest of them can't smell any better. They reclassify your property from private property to commercial, agricultural, or residential. And residential actually means it's the property of a government official. Okay. What's up, Robert? Robert was the caller. I'm glad you jumping on the show. Okay, so your property, is reclassified from private property to one of their 3 or 13 or 13, 14, 15, 16, I don't know, whatever designation, for the sole purpose of taxation. For the sole, because in the Constitution it says not once, but in 2 different places that your private property is not to be taxed. So they reclassify your property so they can tax it after they took the deed from you. And I have people tell me they have the original or whatever, and I beg to differ, unless their families own the property for like 100 years or something. And even then, I beg to differ, because they make that shit up. All you think, you have no idea. You can make new shit. You can make it look just like it. I can do it. I think maybe there's a possibility. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot we was going to talk to Kinder again too today. I got to call me. I'll call you when the stream is over, man. I forgot I had an appointment with you today at 2:00. I got to rushing around. Get Henry stuff on there. Yeah, people say they have their original deed in their possession. I don't believe they do. And most of the time, people will tell me that they don't have a mortgage because they paid off or whatever. But if you're still being forced to pay property tax, why is that? The goal is to get your deed out of their office and your information removed out of their thing. She said she wouldn't. It doesn't matter about the judgment being made. If you're going back to challenge their ass, then the matter. It doesn't matter about the judgment. Then okay, so if you want to do that, then void the judgment, then file your shit. That's ridiculous. No, judicial notice doesn't require anybody to rule or nothing. It's just letting the court know administrative facts, putting these administrative facts on the record. It has nothing to do with the case has already been closed or anybody answering or nothing. It's time to whip out that little notepad. Y'all know a little notepad I'm talking about. You know, when the police show up at the neighbor's house. I won't say y'all's house. At the neighbor's house. The neighbor to the neighbor. Okay. Oh, and then they have to come back. And when they come back the second time, they whip out that little tiny ass notebook thing and start asking you some specific questions while they're looking in directly in your face to see if you're gonna lie to their ass. When they start acting like that, I whip out that little notebook because I'm gonna need my legal team's gonna need your information. Because if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing and you don't sue their asses, then what are you gonna do? Go home and sit down? Not me. I would handwrite their ass in right there underneath the thing, sign and initial it, and let them know that since they're a clerk of the court, they have more authority than the notary. And but I'll pay you the $5 if you want, because you just saw me add your ass and sign it, and now you're a party to the case. You're a plaintiff that just add your ass to the shit, and you're gonna need your supervisor. Maybe I had what's your supervisor's name? Because you're making me grumpy. Yeah, they tried to give Henry a hard time today, telling him no. And I'm like, no. You guys don't have, legal authority. I don't think that you're a clerk or you're the judge. I don't think you have legal authority to make a determination on a pleading. I don't think you do. Well, we're a clerk. Is that a judicial clerk or an administrative clerk? They didn't want to talk to me no more. I can't talk to him. Oh, that was fun. But I wish I had got it recorded and you guys listened to it last time Henry went down there, but I wasn't ready this time. So, but that's all right. But that's, now, if you're using the RICO, which is what we're using, and we're about to whip out something because they have no idea if you're using the RICO. And then that demand for preservation document is a document that you use to let them know that you're about to seize their RICO stuff. I don't think they figured all that out yet. Or maybe they have. I don't know. But the foreclosure RICO document, we're using the RICO document in the $300 eviction package. And the reason that we're using it is because we've been using the RICO, and I actually got one filed in Arizona myself. Oh, they're playing hot potatoes, sending that shit all around everywhere. So that's what we want with the eviction situation. Okay, because we ain't trying to have them rule and judge. I mean, that'd be nice, but we ain't got time for that. So we're just going to punch their ass in the face and make it less valuable for them to want to come to the table and do that shit. So that's what we're doing. Punch their ass in the face, and we make it less valuable for them to come to the table and do that. And once you get the RICO files, now what they say is your federal court filing, but we're using it on state level, even though that they can't respond to it because oh, I love my job. And then, the Les Pennis lien, I think it was like $125 or something. If you have a federal court filing, okay, if they're giving you a hard time, then I would put the lien against the damn clerk's office. Or the court, I don't know. Okay. You want to be dirty, they'll call it being dirty. I don't call it being dirty. Okay. Who the hell's going to fight fair? You kidding me? I don't know about that shit, okay? Who the hell's going to fight? No. So you have the opportunity to turn the heat up on their asses if you want. And that's one way to do it without having to, do it in court. But, anybody get in the way when I'm trying to get something done in court, especially if it means that my shit's going to get thrown out in the yard, their ass going to be added right to the thing. I don't know. That's the end of that. I don't care. Of course, I blame it on I blame it all on the legal team. That way, it's not a lot of value in jacking with you or trying to detain you or whatever. But doctor ready to file a lawsuit. Well, just and if you don't have it, you can ask her to print it off and pay her to print it if you already filed it or whatever, and print it off, and then add her name to it, and then have her refile it. Oh, dude. So here's the thing: there's all kind of options if your head's not clouded with a bunch of bullshit that you got rights, because you ain't got no rights. You already know that shit, or you wouldn't be mad. Oh, you wouldn't be here, but you can sure punch their ass in the face and make it less pleasant for them. Oh, yeah, fictitious escrow. Yeah, we've been talking about all of the fraud. We don't really call it the fraud. We just call it real estate deed fraud. That's exactly what it is at the gate. And then, the $1,500 package, the foreclosure defense $1,500 package addresses that real estate deed fraud situation. in that lawsuit package, in addition to the 42 USC situation that you're in violation of the Tucker's Act, the Administrative Procedures Act, those in the Foreign Agent Registration Act are all federal laws. And in addition to that, you're also claiming that in that lawsuit that that they have, the judge, if you add them to their own stuff and you're bringing in these federal acts that are actually federal laws, then it's a problem for them, and they can't represent themselves. They can't litigate against their party too. It pretty much jams up the state court case. I don't know how they're going to get around that. So now Rando's gonna call in. We got an update on Rando. He got pulled over because they stopped him based off of a drug trafficking investigation, and not because he was impaired driver or did anything wrong, and therefore they didn't have probable cause to be messing with him. And it wasn't even his drug trafficking case. So yeah, he's been sitting in the Paulding County jail in Georgia, in Dallas, Georgia, I think. And so we sent him his stuff. Got mailed out yesterday. He's got several documents. He's got a RICO counterclaim and a RICO actual lawsuit to file in, and then temporary restraining order, demand to be released, and not demand to be released. He's got the habeas corpus. Bam! We're going in. Mm-hmm. Might have to fly over in this puppy and make sure they deliver it to him. Yeah, and I'm about to email it out to them, so they'll all already get it before. And it's funny because Randall called me the day before yesterday. I think it was the first day. I was out walking, and so we talked, and I was kind of talking shit and whatever. Then they get freaked out, and they took his phone privileges and his act, So I'm sure they did that till they investigated me, and then they gave him his phone privileges back. So yeah, he's gonna call in tonight, and so I guess they heard me talking shit or whatever, and then his friend Lay's been telling him what we're doing, and so I'm sure they probably looked me up to see what kind of asshole I am, and so they see, so they know what they're. Yeah, so he's gonna call in tonight around 8:30. I'm gonna have another stream at 8:00 is what the plan is, and then he can call in 8:30, and I guess he's been talking some shit too, which is badass. I love that. Okay, and he told them, y'all better let my ass go because I had enough of this, and my team's gonna be. So I'm gonna go ahead and email them over their stuff so that they'll have that. I had to. It's a nice thick man. It's so bad what they. Yeah, just stomp on your rights that you don't have. Yeah, but you know what? If you got the courage to step the hell up, head over to winningcourtnow.com. We'll help you get this shit. We'll figure out. Bam, there you go. winningcourtnow.com. That's where we got what you need. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about too, and we might as well just run that down while we're still here. The plea deal and stuff you need to know. And I didn't know if, Rumble don't care, but YouTube might yank me if we're talking about the plea deal because I didn't know. Okay, so the plea deal. When people take the plea deal, they don't realize a whole bunch of things. And I'm going to help you with some of the things that you need to that people don't realize. Okay. So the things you need to know. So the prosecutor has no judicial authority to make a plea deal with you. Look that shit up. In my opinion, the prosecutor has no judicial. Oh wait, none of them have judicial authority. The prosecutor don't have administrative authority. Now that even sounds worse. No authority to make a deal with you. The prosecutor. So when you make a plea deal with the prosecutor, if you pissed them off, a lot of times what the prosecutor is going to do is tell the judge that you admitted guilt. They're not going to tell the judge that they lied to you to get a plea deal. They're just going to tell if they're pissed off at you, they'll tell the judge he just admitted it. It's ridiculous. And now the judge can throw the book at your ass because you admitted guilt with this other crazy person over here who didn't have any authority to take your plea or make the deal with you because the judge is the one that's going. Mm-hmm. So the judge can reject that shit and now give you the hammer because you admitted that you was guilty. Prosecutor lied to the judge, or maybe the judge knew the deal anyway and knew that's how they do the shit. And now you're stuck between the rock and rock. You know, some people take the plea to save the spouse. And don't get me wrong. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Okay. But now we're going to have a new package, crush that plea shit and do something about it. Okay. So that's where I'm headed with this. I ain't judging nobody. Okay. Because you got to do what you got to do. I did too. Got to do what you got to do. But here's the thing. When you go sign to bend over and put their orange clothes on, can you trust that they're not going to come after your wife? You can trust them, right? I'm just saying. How can you trust them to honor what they said when they've lied all along and forced you to do that shit by going after your family? Can you trust them? So if I took the plea a long time ago, cause what? Fraudulent concealment, you could come back in. You could come back in and jam their ass up for it. Oh, wait, but what about my conviction, whatever? What about it? It was lies in the first place. But that's not the problem. The problem is the deal. They screwed you on the deal. Yeah, that's the new package that we're putting together, and that's what's gonna. Yeah, that plea agreement BS, and I'm still figuring out exactly what dot, because we're not just gonna come in with a thing to crush a deal. You're gonna have something to crush the ass to make them respect you in the first place. So it's gonna have some kind of lawsuit in it. But I'm thinking it's going to be in the $300 range because I want to keep it down low so people can actually afford it. And I can see how they want to try and respond to it if they think they can. So the people over in Dallas, Georgia that are giving Randall a hard time, Randall already told y'all ass to call me if you need something. And I don't There's nothing that you until y'all ask let that man go. There's nothing that I have to say to you because we already put the program together. The legal team already we already have the game plan, and we're just gonna keep on rolling it because you guys. Okay, so they sent the sorry ass pretender in to go and talk to Rando, and they're trying to give him another deal. They're trying to dumb it down to some shit. I don't know. He calls in tonight. He can tell us about it. Leaf, his friend, was telling me about it. So they're in there trying to negotiate. Es más tarde para esto. Okay, es más tarde. That means it's a little too late. It's a little too late to do the right thing now. Y'all know that song? It's a little too late to do the right thing now. But they can still, y'all ass can still do the right thing and let Randall go. I know y'all watching this shit too. Y'all need to let that man go. And then, it's going to be up to him. He has right now what he needs on his way. He has on the way right now what he needs to put a lien against that whole facility. Well, no, he's missing one thing. Leaf, he needs the legal description of the detention center. So you guys need to somebody needs to get the legal description of the detention center. It'll have a parcel number, APN number, APN number, and the one other thing that you need to have. There's three things. I can't remember the other thing, but yeah, because he's gonna need that so that he can write that shit in on the lien that he's gonna put on. I put the lien on the shitty ass detention center, and we might have to jump it up more than 500 million. I didn't know how big that place is. But that's what we're about to do. We ain't playing. And I told them we ain't playing. And, if somebody from the government over there in Georgia wants to come on the show and explain why y'all doing this shit over there, come on down. And, there was one other thing that I wanted to show, too, while we're here. Still have this up. Okay, so I went to go mail the stuff to Randall yesterday. And I found out when I went that this is the correct mailing address. Oh. Huh. Well, wait a minute. It says right here, different address. Huh. That's not. I wonder why it says a different address on there. Huh. Well, let's see. Let's look at that again. Let's look at a different one. Oh, here's one. Oh, wait. This is all in red, so this must be accurate. No. It still has 132 instead of 157. Oh. Huh. I was like, well, huh, I don't know. That's very confusing to me. I'm confused. Okay, so wait a minute. Why would they have? Why would they have? Oh, wait, there's another one with a different address. None of these websites have the actual address that the mail can get. Well, there's a nice email address right there. We need to save that. No, you can't. They're not. They can't be getting the mail unless they have somebody like my staff. Okay, so I went to go mail that stuff, and I copy and pasted the address on a piece of paper and taped it to the stinking thing because I already had it, just to make sure that I had it exactly like it was on the website. And the lady at Paula at the post office here in Eudora, Kansas, a little small town. Oh, she was punching it in, and I'm looking at her, and she's looking, trying to do the check down, play it off. And then I said, "What's up?" She, well, this is not coming up. And I said, "Oh." I said, "I just copy and pasted the whole thing there." She said, "Yeah." So she kept messing with it. And then, oh, see, here's another one. 132. This one has another address on it too. And so she was poking around with it, and she said, "No, I don't know. Wait, no." So she did some other stuff and she put it in a different way. And then she said, "Oh," and I was saying at this point, maybe it's fraud, because I don't trust them people. I already know how they roll. And she looked at me and she said, "Yeah, it should be 157." And you know what? She had to force it to get it to accept it and go through. She said, "I'm forcing it to go through because I know that's what it's supposed to be." Oh, and this is the sheriff's website here. Yeah, we haven't added them yet, but we no, I think we did. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna get off here and get some other stuff done. Hopefully, I'll be able to get back on here at 8 o'clock tonight, and we'll be talking to Rando or something. Thank you guys for the virus and your time, and I'll see y'all in the next stream.